When you think about businesses that are selling through the roof, like Aloe or Allbirds, sure, you think about a great product, a cool brand, and great marketing. But an often overlooked secret is actually the businesses behind the business, making selling, and for shoppers, buying, simple. For millions of businesses, that business is Shopify. Nobody does online business better than Shopify. It's home of Shop Pay, the #1 checkout in the world. You can use it to boost conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts going abandoned and way more sales going through to checkout. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/income, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/income to upgrade your selling today. That's shopify.com/income.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. When your computer breaks, you don't wait for it to magically start working again. You fix the problem. So why wait to hire the people your company desperately needs? Use Indeed's sponsored jobs to hire top talent fast. And even better, you only pay for results. There's no need to wait. Speed up your hiring with a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
Hello folks, it's Somewhere on Earth o'clock. It's Gareth here, welcome back. And it is Tuesday, the 5th of August 2025. And joining us is Ania. Hello again, Ania. How are you? Okay.
I'm good. I'm actually busy trying to make sure my VPNs are working. Well, actually, I'm not, because I do use a VPN myself quite a lot. But a lot of other people in the UK have suddenly discovered them, apparently.
Oh, okay. Is it anything to do with an online safety law that says they have to verify their age if they're looking at naughty stuff?
Yes, well, not only naughty stuff, but
other stuff.
Other stuff too, but yes, indeed, it's surprising. People are now suddenly trying to pretend they're somewhere else. Now we have this new law. So yeah, VPNs are popular in the UK at the moment.
There we are. That's the latest VPN news. And coming up today... So, you like technology, right? Silly question. Of course you do. That's why you're here. And the chances are you like it when tech does good things. I mean, it's our USP, basically, to bring you those stories here on Somewhere on Earth. So today, we proudly bring you some blockchain and some Internet of Things. And I've forgotten one. This little thing called AI that apparently people are talking about these days. Across two unrelated projects, all these technologies, fused with some good old human ingenuity and innovation, are helping with clean drinking water in Ghana and elsewhere, environmental protection in remote areas of South America. It's global. There's technology. That's what we do because hardly any other podcast does. This is the Somewhere on Earth podcast. All right, so this one comes from a listener tip-off. Thank you very much, Steve Clark. You're a mate. Now, it's a bit of a long story, but meet a chap who simply goes by the name of McSamm. In fact, you won't quite meet him yet because I just need to get through this intro first for a bit of context. McSamm is very interesting. He travels a lot, and this one time he was in Ghana and the drinking water made him feel ill. Now, most of us would probably have just stayed close to the nearest toilet and then taken it easy until the bug had passed. But not McSamm. He decided to do something about it. So roll forward a few years and he's spearheaded a project that has brought drinking water boreholes to numerous villages in Ghana. Instrumental in this project that has improved hundreds of lives is a platform called Hive. Now, this is an online community that uses blockchain to bring people together for a little bit of social networking, but also to raise funding and often get together for a bit of tech for good. Right, so that was my intro. Now, finally, meet McSamm. He's been telling me about the borehole project, but first, a bit about the Hive platform and community.
Hive is a fully decentralized Web3 platform that allows and rewards users for creating content. It has a lot of activities that people who are interested in social media do. For the part that I enjoy most is the blogging aspect. So with those of us who blog on the Hive blockchain, we get rewards for creating content each day And the Hive blockchain also has its own token, which allows us to also trade with other tokens and use it to buy and sell, do a lot of stuff. So basically, it's a decentralized, very well fully decentralized Web3 platform.
So could you describe it almost as if like you had a combination of a blockchain, a currency that sits on the blockchain, a crowdsourcing blog platform, and made it all very Web 3.0? Would it be a bit like that?
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly how it is. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and they kind of mesh together, don't they? So I know
exactly.
you're more into the blogging, but there might be people who are blogging about a project. They want some funding, so maybe other people on the platform might, using some of the stable coin that's available on the platform,
Yeah,
be able to get in and fund the thing the person's been blogging about. It's so anyway, lots to get into, and we will get into more detail about Hive. I think it's a very interesting ecosystem, to use that horrible cliched word,
yeah.
but we'll do that in the subscription extra, because that's a whole other interview in itself. Let's jump straight in then to what you've been blogging about, and it's turned into a bit more than just a blog, hasn't it? Bringing drinking water to remote communities in Ghana. Tell me more.
Yeah, so basically, I started as a blogger where I create content about basic things in life. And it was through that I discovered a problem in my community, that is one of the Ghanaian communities. And so I started writing about it. And then the problem, people felt in love with the problem, with the issue that I found, and started blogging about.
The problem you identified on your travels around Ghana for various other means that you were working in public health, and that in itself is a long story, but
Yeah.
you were traveling around, you went to a village one time, you had some of the water and you got sick, didn't you? You had a miserable experience and you thought, this is bad enough for a visitor. Imagine living here. And that's where an idea came about, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's it. It was really terrible. And I couldn't just imagine how those people, even me for just few days, I wasn't okay with it. So I was just imagining the people who live there every day, which of course that becomes their daily struggle. This is what they feed on every day. So you can just imagine how it feels like to live in such an environment where you drink this water every day. This is what you bath with. This is what you cook with. This is what you drink. It was really terrible. And that was what I felt. Something needs to be done about that.
Right. So you blogged about it, but it went from more than just a blog post where people posting up saying, oh, isn't it awful? This actually did turn into not just one, but now a whole load of boreholes, over 20, I think. You're probably about to correct me. It might be
22.
even more. So
22
how did you
now.
go from 22, there you are.
Yeah.
22 and I love the way that on your blog, on your website, you've illustrated every single one,
Yeah.
smiley, happy people. There's 22 lots of photos of happy, healthy looking people at the borehole getting their quality drinking and cooking and washing water. But how did you go from blog to borehole to multiple boreholes?
I started with local people, local leaders, which I think they could be of help. And with all the attempts and the trials I made with the leaders to help me solve this problem, it was never fruitful. Nothing good came out of it. So it just got to me. I belong to a blockchain, a fully decentralized blockchain. I can start talking about this on the blockchain and hear what people say. And so I started making blogs. I wrote stories. I told stories about the encounter that I've had and my vision to help empower these people with potable drinking water. And so when I started blogging about it, people fell in love with the story. And so they gave me a hope that I could use the blockchain to change the lives of these people. And it all started from, I just need to write a proposal to the Hive blockchain. And once the proposal is accepted, and then you can get funding for that. And so a proposal was put into action. It went through a series of process for people to look through to see how it was going to look like, the ups and downs and corrections about the proposal. And the good thing was majority of people supported it. They voted for it, that it's something good that everyone is interested. Everyone wants to give out something to support this initiative. And then we started the first borehole. And then we've continued up to now.
So it is, kind of crowdfunding, but on a
Exactly.
blockchain in a decentralized form. So where are we at now then? So you have 22 boreholes. Do you have plans in the pipeline? No pun intended. That one slipped out. But plans anyway in the pipeline to do even more.
I'll be very excited and happy to see that by the end of next year, 2026, I have about 100 boreholes across Ghana. That's what I hope to see. But it all comes from funding. If the funding is readily available, I'm always happy and I'm always available to continue to keep this project going on. As a matter of fact, Hive supports many different projects. This is not the only project that Hive as a blockchain support. In as much as it is a blockchain, it is a decentralized platform. People bring project on the platform, and once it gets support, once everyone votes for that, if everyone agrees, the project keeps going, and that is why we have lots of projects. So this is not the only project Hive support. And so sometimes it becomes very difficult. Not that Hive is not ready to sponsor, but since it's supporting other projects, it has to go through process, and sometimes delays comes before yours also, or it gets to your turn. So I would love to do more whenever funds are readily available. Yes.
So finally then, what difference has it made already? Okay, we know there are 22 boreholes. There are others that are planned. But can you put into numbers the number of people or the number of villages that have been improved in this way?
The villages that we've had these boreholes are not same. I think we have two communities that one borehole was not sufficient. They asked that we could give them two. And of course, we could tell that one borehole was not sufficient to feed the entire community. So we have two communities where we gave them two different boreholes. And even with that, it is still not enough to serve the entire community. And so approximately, looking at the size of Ghanaian villages, each day the borehole feeds approximately 200 to 500 people every day. And it is changing a lot of lives. People are making good use of it. Farmers, women, children. In Africa, women and children are those who suffer a lot when it comes to fetching water. I remember back in the days, if you were a child, you have to ensure that early morning, you get up, get a bucket, a pan, go out to fetch water for the family before you can step out to do any other thing. Same with women. And so we are proud that this borehole has released the pressure, the burden on women and children. Farmers are making good use of it, and it has also improved the life and the living of most people in these Ghanaian communities.
There you go. That was McSamm talking to us a little earlier, and Ania was listening to that too. What is your take, Ania? The world awaits Ania's verdict.
Well, I actually spoke to McSamm before we did the interview and chatted with him for quite a long time. And I think that what really struck me was that he and his team, who were travelling around Ghana registering new identification cards, were quite surprised to find villages without clean water. They were really going to some quite remote parts. As you said, they fell ill. McSamm was determined to do something about this. And he started using traditional pitching and fundraising methods, but that didn't bring the money that was needed for this project. So he turned to the blockchain, and it was the Hive community that really stepped up and made it possible now for so many villages to have clean water. So I think that for me was one point. The other was there was this sense of working together with the villagers. They didn't just come in and say, right, we're putting this hole here. Here's your tap. Off you go. McSamm is very insistent on working with the village elders, the chiefs, on picking an appropriate site. Also, these pumps need electricity to work. McSamm has minimised the amount needed as tanks are filled regularly, and so you don't need to have the pumps on 24/7. But the community funds the electricity bills themselves, and increasingly solar energy is used to produce this electricity. And there's also another challenge of getting more than water to the villages. And this is like the next phase of the project that McSamm was telling me about. And he teaches the young people about Hive and the blockchain community that has helped them in their village. He's increasing internet access through Starlink, and then getting these young people online to see what they can achieve with the blockchain for their own villages.
Yeah, he's a bit of a dude, isn't he, McSamm? Well, that's
he
definitely
is very
theory.
much so.
Yeah,
He's
good
really
stuff.
kind of trying to get everyone involved and seeing the bigger picture.
Yeah, sure. And there may be people listening to this thinking, yeah, we're across Hive. Like if Steve was here, he'd say he's been on it for ages. Why doesn't everyone know about it? But not everyone does. So we'll tell you a bit more about Hive itself in the subscription extra of this podcast. So that will come from McSamm in a little bit.
USAA knows dynamic duos can save the day, like superheroes and sidekicks, or auto and home insurance. With USAA, you can bundle your auto and home and save up to 10%. Visit USAA.com/bundle.
Bundle savings are off total premium, not available in all states or in all situations. To qualify, auto policy must be active prior to property policy issue. Subject to change. Restrictions apply. Membership eligibility and product restrictions apply and are subject to change. USAA means United Services Automobile Association and its affiliates, San Antonio, Texas.
With a major selection of the looks your kiddos love starting at just $4 in the Walmart app, a new school year means a stylish new them. Who knew? Find skater skirts and Crocs that say, I'm casual but cool. Sparkly sneakers that say, it's my classroom, you're just learning in it. And preppy polos that say, I'm the teacher's pet, even if they're mommy's menace at home. Find their favorite styles starting at just $4 in the app. The Walmart you thought you knew is now new.
Hey, it's Paris. I love sparkly things, right? Like stars. Duh. And thanks to Hilton and AutoCamp, I just slept under them. Picture me, serving looks by the fire outside my luxurious Airstream, making s'mores with the kids, while a national park is our backdrop. The great outdoors meets Hilton hospitality. That's hot. Explore all the new ways to stay at Hilton.com. Hilton for the stay.
Right, so we've just heard what happens when blockchain meets crowdfunding and networking. Now, what happens when AI and IoT, or Internet of Things, when they meet environmental protection? Now, the thing is, nature is noisy. Well, it's meant to be, say, in the rainforest, for instance, where some healthy biodiversity means a constant and pretty loud chorus of insects and birds. But when the habitat is threatened or degraded, the soundscape reflects it. The soundscape sounds kind of sick as well, which is why a body called Greenbug is rolling out sensors in remote areas to pick up the warning signs of threats to the environment. Here's Marcelo Vieira, and he's founder of Greenbug.
Greenbug is a startup that deals with protection of forests and protection of our planet.
How does it do that?
We developed an electronic device, an IoT device, that we install in these remote areas, and through the usage of artificial intelligence, we detect what kind of sounds is happening in that remote area. So we understand the sounds like animals, but we take care of the biodiversity, and also we can generate alarms of something that could indicate some degradation, like chainsaw, fire gun, something that could be damaging that area.
And I can understand how, hearing a chainsaw or detecting a chainsaw would raise an alarm. But in general then, how is sound an indicator of the biodiversity?
Good question. I love nature. I'm an electronic engineer, but all my life I was in touch with nature somehow. I was listening to birds, and I started to understand that they talk to each other. So when we were in some nature area, they talk to each other to tell that there is one people there is danger in the area. So I was thinking, how could I use this communication between the animals to understand the behavior of that environment and try to translate this communication of them to something to protect themselves.
So you have these boxes, don't you? And you can attach them to trees in the rainforest or what have you. So how do you deploy them? How do they become like a distributed biodiversity sensor?
It's a challenge. Brazil is a huge country. Logistics is a barrier for us. Sometimes we don't have connectivity, and we have to understand that area where we are going to install. We have to talk with the owner of that land to understand the vulnerabilities that they have there. If it's there is some road close to that area that need to be protected. So the first step is to understand the area itself and the vulnerability. Then on the map we select those points. We understand how many devices we are going to install in that area. We do some simulation about the connectivity. For example, if we have coverage of mobile, 4G, 3G, okay, it's cheaper for us, but if you don't have any other way to communicate, we use satellites. So that's more or less what we try to do to install that in the field. We face difficulties like rain, we face difficulties like the temperature. We have to carry our bags to install in the top of the mountain, for example. So we face challenges in terms of logistics to carry everything, all the equipment and the connectivity.
So what stage are you at the moment? Is it like a prototype, or have you now entered the market?
We have one contract with a big company dealing with mining, a mining company. And there we are monitoring biodiversity and the sound that they produce when they are exploring that area. We have this only contract right now. We did a pilot with a paper and pulp company. We have something to make the device better in terms of battery life, for example. So we have to do some homework to prepare the device for the area. But this is the point that we are right now. We are finishing this MVP and we are almost ready to go to market.
Speaking to us at Web Summit Rio, that is Marcelo Vieira. And yes, we enjoyed meeting him, didn't we, Ania?
Oh, we did indeed, although it was quite hard actually to get a word with him because my first impression was how busy his stand was. There was a lot of interest in the product and we really struggled to even get 10 minutes with him.
We had to join the queue, didn't we?
We certainly did. And so, you could tell that there is a need for this technology. Now, the thing that really surprised me was the things it can be used for. So, grain production. They send real-time alerts about invasions such as wild boar. Imagine wild boar going into a field of wheat. Well, there's not going to be much left of your crop. So that is really important to get on top of straight away. Forests and nature reserves. So the presence of people increases the risks of fire and degradation. So again, if you've got kind of native virginal forest or a reserve, you really want to protect that. You don't want people in there. Planted forests. So if you think about that also needs to be protected. So they monitor the actions of palm heart gatherers and hunters. And then you've got commercial crops like sugarcane. Vehicles and people, again, increase fire risks. So, they can actually work out if there's someone there or a vehicle there that shouldn't be there. However, the more unusual aspects of this, which I just hadn't thought of, was smuggling. So sounds from speedboats and boats are detected by Greenbug devices, and these immediately generate an alert with the geolocation of the occurrence. So authorities can go and investigate those straight away. And also illegal mining. They can detect sounds of machines and helicopters in protected areas and alert the people that need to be alerted. So, there's quite a large scope for this technology.
Yeah, hugely. Ania, thank you very much. Yeah, so there you have it, folks. That'll do us for this edition. Let's just quickly remind you about the subscription. It's just $10 a month, and you can find it by searching pod.fan Somewhere on Earth podcast. And if you don't want to subscribe, you can buy us a coffee through that as well. So tell your friends and colleagues, because it's all about personal recommendations. So yeah, that'll definitely do it. I thoroughly recommend Liz Tuohy. She's very good at being a production manager, and Ania Lichtarowicz, who you've been listening to today, is very good at being an editor and generally running this podcast. And I'm fair to middling on a good day at doing this. I'm Gareth, presenting Somewhere on Earth, and of course we're a proud partner of the Evergreen Podcast Network. Check out their other titles because they're jolly good, especially that Bride Chiller. They do some nice stuff, as you'll have heard in recent weeks. Good. All right, we'll see you next time. Bye bye.